Fucking falling like a stone, dude. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor and Tone Vase. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning, morning. I'm good. I am in San Juan, Puerto Rico. I am here one more night. I'm going diving in about 2, 3 hours. Wanted to get a dive in, new country with my new hobby. Actually, same country. It's part of the United States. I always forget that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bitcoin is doing exactly what I've been saying it was going to do in our last couple of videos, and it's very disappointing. And we're gonna get into that. So, Matt, go for it. Start us off. What's going on? I'm assuming you're in a short trade.
I am in a short trade, which you well know because I sent you the trade. But look, this is I'm going to make this episode's theme the silver lining. The silver lining is the theme of the show. So let's I know it seems all doom and gloom, but let's look for a silver lining. All right. So as I open the charts up now and I rearrange my face and do all the good stuff here, you might have noticed that the wave has turned red. All right. On alphanumerics, the wave is red. I mean, what better place to start with the analysis? But I'll just quickly go into my trade. From when the wave turned red at 91, 200, it actually turned red slightly higher than that. But at that point, when we came down and then we closed that this candle here, it's different in all wherever you are in the world. But for me, it's a really clear time. Like at 9 p.m. and 9 a.m. is the 9 a.m. is the daily candle open in here in Tokyo, and 9 p.m. is the 12-hour, 4-hour. It's a very important time for me. I talk about it all the time. And that the price jumped up pretty a bit. And I thought, okay, great, this is my chance to short. And I did go short. So I am currently in a short from 91, 200. And we'll just monitor that, you know, as the show goes along. But I mean, we're falling like a stone. So I mean, it's a good short. I like to make money really quick on shorts. So like I could pull this at any time now. It's probably already at 10 grand profit, right? So we'll just monitor it throughout the show. But yeah, look, it's bad, right? I mean, this is it finally the back broke. But I want to go to we're looking for silver linings here, right? We're looking for silver linings. So I'm going to start the weekly time frame and just review what OGs of the show who've been watching all year, they already know. But for any new people that have just come along recently, what this red wave means to me is, and I'll go back in time a bit, it's quite clear what this red wave means to me, and it doesn't have to mean that to you. But let's go back to 2017. This is when most people got into Bitcoin, right? And I'll go through this quickly. Wave turns red on this weekly candle right here, back on uh let's just say the 18th of December 2017. And that stayed red until we had a little fake out for a month here where we see that the modified lucid star, that's red wave territory. That just means for me, it means raise cash, or or it just means it could mean go short if you were brave, but it just preserving capital and changing my bias from being a permeable to, well, we might have some sideways movement, we might have a hell of a lot of down movement, we might recover completely, and there's plenty of cases where that's happened as well. But my mindset is no longer looking to buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, because there's an overarching theme in Bitcoin to buy the dip, buy the dip. Tones worn the t-shirt, tongue in cheek, or in reality, there is a methodology to buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. But I mean, I can empirically prove that that's a false economy just to buy the dip. I mean, what's a dip? Is that 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 a dip? What's a dip? What's a bloody dip? So for me, a real good dip is when the wave is green and we get a we get a dip when the wave is green. A 20% dip when the wave is green is a great buy the dip because my macro is bullish, but we've just had a correction. It's different for me when we have the wave red. Then I start looking for something greater, and I'll start with a daily green diamond, a 3-day green diamond, or ultimately a weekly green diamond. A weekly green diamond is the pinnacle for me of what I want to see when the wave is red. All of this is available on my alphanumerics indicator and the tutorials that come with it. 30% off, links in the description below. But I don't care about that. Just hear me out. I called this bottom here publicly at 3,100 because even though we're in a red wave, we had a weekly green diamond, which was enough for me. First major purchase of Bitcoin. I'm still holding that Bitcoin to this day. Wave turns green. This is a really great example of wave turns green. Bang, right here on the 11th of March. Bang, classic trade. But then we go into this negative territory for a while. This was the Black Swan event. We turned green. We're looking really good here. And Tone, you'll be the first one to admit when this Black Swan took a lot of people by surprise. I got out right here at 8,000. Luckily, because a week later, bang, it all cracked down. All right. But then it took a while for the wave to turn green, and we stayed green in this run for a really, really long time. It's just a perfect parabolic bull run. But then, yeah, red wave, green wave, red wave, all the way down. This is another little one where it's kind of like a few weeks. We started to look like we were going to recover, but you got out at a slight loss, and then we're back down looking for green diamonds. Again, we got the green diamond here. This is just before Bali. Those of you who know my positions, and I got really long here once again, 17,777. But the day after Bali, I added more, 17,200. I'm still in that position today. If you've been watching me all year, I've been very consistent on that. This was the worst period in the whole history of Bitcoin for me for being alphanumerics totally wrong. We were red wave to green wave to red wave. That period right there, that one trade where I was bearish, bullish, bearish. That was a real bad call inside an 8-month consolidation. We were on this show live every day. I didn't play that very well, but made up for it by being super duper bullish here. I stayed through this one, got super bullish again, rode it all the way up, right? So look, it's the same jazz right now. We're in a period now where we've had the great run up, and now it's gone to bearish. So it's just for me, my mindset's changed. You can see that the parabolic SAR is now up, is at the all-time high, which is very high in price. It could take a long time to come back down, or it could be one of those times where we get it wrong. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. It's just playing the cards we're dealt. I'm out of my super duper, everything's a dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. I'm just looking for lower prices to re-up and get in. That's all I'm saying. It turns out that this, once again, Socrates' EXA was on the money, right? I mean, that was the perfect call, which we spoke about in every show for like 3 months. Back on the 16th of December, that turned bearish, and we've never really looked back, unfortunately. Sometimes hindsight's 2020, more often than not. And everything looks just right now for further downside. It just looks right for further downside. But I mean, this is going to be extremely volatile in this period right now. I mean, I think that the price is jumping around as we speak. So let's
Wait.
go ahead, mate.
Zoom out and drop the indicators. Like make it more candles visible. Right. So I think you got, oh, no, not that much, just 2023 and 2024.
Right.
Okay, good. So I gotta correct you a little bit. We were not doing the show in 2023. So the period you were saying was frustrating is actually the 2024
Yeah.
6-month correction, but you were pointing to the 2023
Yeah.
6-month correction, right? So I just gotta correct you there.
No. You're right. And when I got up to the top here, I realized that I had said that. I just thought no one else had noticed it. But thank you. But yeah, I mean, like it's much the same point, to be honest. The consolidate.
It was very similar action. Personally, I found, I mean, they were both equally frustrating.
Right.
But yeah, but it was very, very similar action. And I really hope we are not looking at the same thing for the next 6 months, because honestly, the charts are indicating that is the most likely outcome for the next 6 months.
Well, that's part of the thesis, and I got to be careful of this trade right now. But that's the thesis of the silver lining point. The breakout of both of those, when we finally did break out, alphanumerics was all over it, right? When the wave turned green back on we'll call it the 16th of October 2023, and then the purple phantom signal followed it the 2 weeks later. It was a clear breakout. And it was the same on this candle right here, which we were very, very bullish on. Okay. And it's the same jazz. This is the opposite to that. That's this candle here. That's this candle here. Now, whether it just leads to sideways consolidation or it leads to something more unfortunate, it's yet to be determined. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of these kind of situations where just we recover tomorrow. I don't know the answer. I just know as a trader, this is sort of what I look for. Okay. And I'm going to throw back to you right now because my trade is underwater and I might have to just close it out and just sit through it. I didn't make any trades throughout the whole weekend, didn't do anything. It's the first trade that I've made. So I'm coming back off screen share right now, Tone, as we speak. The price is jumping. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Affiliate links in the description below. Stay safe. Let's go. What do you got, Tone?
All right. Yeah, I didn't realize we rallied this much, and it's not even 10 a.m. yet. We're close. We're in the, we're in the window, but tricky time. Okay. Long-term chart remains bullish, and it will stay bullish unless we're going into the low 70s. Weekly chart, as Matt just described, we have just broken to a new weekly swing low, and we are currently looking at a new weekly low close. But
just hit your screen share, brother.
I am on screen share.
Nope.
This is like the second time this happened to me. I go into screen share and it doesn't go in.
There it is.
This happened to me on my last show as well. But there's nobody there to tell me this, right? So I was like, kept talking about it. So the monthly chart doesn't matter right now. The weekly chart is at a new weekly swing low. That's obviously going to stay. We're on a new weekly low close that may or may not stay because we are like 3 hours into the new week. So, however, if the week was to close this way, it is very, very bearish. And where am I buying the dip? I am buying the dip at a weekly MRI buy. When Matt was talking about the old, 2018 bear market, where do you buy the dip? Well, I'm going to try to buy the dip every time the market is giving me an MRI buy opportunity. And when did it give me the MRI buy opportunity? Well, the first time it ever did that was like a year into or 6 months into the bear market in July. It was certainly a very good bullish trade. It could not break above the moving average resistance, and it turned into a descending triangle, which I famously shorted right before the big crash out of the triangle. And unfortunately, there was never a proper buying opportunity based on the MRI. There was based on the moving average twice. And the next time the MRI gave a buying opportunity was on a green star candle. And then we had an ascending triangle. But again, unfortunately, the triangle breakout took place on an MRI sell. So that was just, TA isn't always perfect. And sometimes you have conflicting TA signals, even within a narrow range. As a TA trader, you can't trade 300 TA elements at the same time. Anyone that has ever tried will only fail. You have to pick your 3 to 5 favorite TA elements. And when they all line up, you have confidence. But when they clash, you don't have confidence. And unfortunately, that's what happened to me on this particular week. If only this breakout week took place, on week 4 of the MRI and not, on the last possible candle. I remember everything I've ever said. My memory is pretty damn good. So the weekly chart is as bearish as it gets. I know I've said this in prior weeks, and guess what? This week it is more bearish than at any other week in the last 2 months, 3 months. It is more bearish today than it was in the prior weeks. What about the daily chart? The daily chart is more bearish today than at almost any other day in the last 2 months. Does that mean we can't rebound and have a dead cat bounce? No. Can we rebound and go to new all-time highs? Of course we can. What are the odds of that? Incredibly low. I believe in the last at some point last week, I said there was no chance in hell that this was not going to break down to new lows. I believe my exact sentence was, maybe for the first time in my 25 years of trading, we will not go to new lows in the 80s. It is, of course, possible, but I will not ever expect that to happen. And I was 1,000% correct on that. And this morning we broke down. And right now, this candle is looking very, very bad. Now, how do I explain this for the trolls that you can't make happen? There are things I want to happen. There are things that are likely to happen. And then there are things that are possible. What do I want to happen? Well, ultimately, I want Bitcoin to go to $1 million a share, okay? That is obviously the number one thing I want to happen. What is the second best thing that I want to happen that is actually possible? For me personally, I would like to see capitulation to the mid-80s in the next 48 hours. Why would I want to see that? I want to see that because I want the MRI buy is coming on Wednesday. And I would like for the price of Bitcoin to be as low as possible on that day. That would allow me to buy the dip. Okay. Now, this would still be not a super confident buy the dip, because the weekly is still calling for 4 more weeks of downside. But the more we capitulate in the next 48 hours, the more confident I am that we would then rally into the breakdown level with a moving average rejection of 92. Okay. And as we are rallying into the dead cat bounce of 92 rejection, there is always a chance that we break it. Okay. We cannot break resistance unless we rally into resistance. And if I can time a dip for a dead cat rally into resistance, no matter how confident I am that we will hit resistance and go to zero, no matter how confident I am that this resistance will reject Bitcoin violently, there is always a chance that it will not, and it will go up. And we cannot break resistance and go up above it unless we rally it. Okay. And the best trade I can make for a rally into resistance is with capitulation on Wednesday or around Wednesday. Hope that made sense. Now, what is my realistic bad case scenario that will give me also conviction to buy the dip? That is support at the 128-day moving average, currently sitting at 82,000. Okay. Is it possible that this is the low and Trump will get inaugurated in a week from now and everything will go to new highs? Yes, it's possible. Is Matt probably getting out of his trade right now that is losing money? Maybe. I have no idea what Matt does, and I don't want to be in Matt's shoes right now because he has one of the toughest decisions he has had to make in probably 2 weeks. Am I wrong?
Not wrong.
Not wrong, right? No, this is a very hard decision. Now, to me, this is a rally into 10 a.m. This is not a bounce into 10 a.m. If I go to a 5-minute chart of Bitcoin, the low was made at 9:35. So to me, this is a rally into 10 a.m. So for me personally, the most likely thing to happen is a 10 a.m. top with a rejection to new lows. However, as I just explained, you can't break resistance and go higher unless you rally into resistance. Okay? So I still think we're getting rejected around 10 a.m., but the market can always prove me wrong. We have now rallied past the prior swing high. We've broken the MRI resistance line. We had a head fake. Everyone that shorted this morning on the breakdown is now pissed. And the moment everyone cuts their short trades, you know what happens. There is nobody left to buy. There is nobody short. And the market turns and goes exactly where the shorts had to bail. So tough decisions. I'm happy Bitcoin is rising. I'm always happier that Bitcoin is rising than if it's falling. But because I have a public platform that people listen to, and even though this isn't trading advice, people are treating it as trading advice. And I understand why they're treating it as trading advice. And no matter what anyone says, what people do is what matters. And this is why the last tweet I made was actually me saying I was bullish right on this candle, and probably about a dozen crypto publications wrote that Tone is now bullish, and none of them watch my YouTube channel, and none of them know that I actually went bearish the following day, and I never tweeted about it. So as far as the world is concerned, Tone is 100x long Bitcoin at above 100K, when in reality I'm not. And this is the unfortunate part that is really bothering me and is very frustrating, because the only tweet prior to that I made was that I was exiting here and waiting for Bitcoin to fall into the 80s, which it did this morning. But the entire world thinks that I'm long from here. This is mentally bothering me. I don't want to tweet that I'm not, because for all I know, Bitcoin can rally to $1 million tomorrow. So I'm not going to tweet about the price of Bitcoin anymore. Anyone that is interested in my views on the price of Bitcoin can come and watch this YouTube channel. So what do I think now? Well, again, I still think we're going to reach an MRI buy, and it may or may not be the ultimate low for the year, but I will not be long Bitcoin unless we are breaking both moving averages. On that note, my speech on the price of Bitcoin is over, and I'll glance at the 4-hour chart. And I know Matt has a call in 4 minutes, so we are going to be respectful of that. The bullish cycle is still what's keeping me bullish for the year. Oil remains my most confident bullish call of the year. Gold is in a very nice bullish territory now, being above its moving average. The S&P, I believe, took a nosedive this morning, which is what caused the crash in Bitcoin. They are absolutely correlated. And if the price of the S&P starts to rise with Trump's inauguration, that would be great. But I am a little concerned on the S&P here. The S&P has incredible support level at 5,650. And if it reaches that level, we could rally. The S&P is identical to Bitcoin. It's at a 5 in the MRI after a red star candle. And what do you think Bitcoin will look like? They are mirror images of each other. Anyone that tells you Bitcoin is not correlated with the stock market has no idea about financial markets. And I will put that on record. They are absolutely correlated. The yield curve is doing something incredibly strange, but never enough time to get into it. Ethereum is a basket case that looks worse than it ever has looked, ever. And tomorrow, maybe we'll get into MicroStrategy. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please like, subscribe, share. I still think Bitcoin has a chance to rally. This is your max pain. The max pain has dropped down to 54. The price seems to be right there at max pain, right at 54. No one should be surprised. And the ETFs had actually held on to more Bitcoin than I expected. So let's see how that shapes out this week. All right, Matt, close us out and join your call.
Thanks, guys. Got a call now with the Black Box team, all the devs. See you the same time tomorrow. I hope we rally. I'd love to be wrong, but we'll see what happens. Thanks for joining, guys. See you tomorrow.
Bye, guys. Please like, subscribe, share, and